Galnet News Digest, 1st of September 3306. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news: outside help blamed for prison takeover. Engineering advances in Colonia. French racers drive Buckyballer up the wall. LCU perfects collision detection system. Celebrating the newsletter. Outside help blamed for prison takeover. The prisoners have taken over the operation of the Eagle Sector Secure Facility following a year-long campaign of disobedience. The facility, in the Eagle Sector IR-W D1-102 system, a neighbouring system to the Eagle's landing staging post, is the destination for commanders who are caught committing crimes on their way out to Colonia. Prison stations are normally kept stable by a regular flow of exploration data that funds the operation. However, repeated lockdowns over the past 12 months have meant that the supply of lucrative data has dried up, and it is strongly suspected that the inmates had outside help to run so-called passenger missions of secretive visitors to and from the prison. Following a large-scale breakout on the 28th of August, the system is now in a state of anarchy, with the prison wardens locked up and the prison run by inmates for inmates. The Colonia Council maintains a presence but is unable to intervene. The inmates are reported to be happy. The authorities wish to speak to Commanders Rainbow, Jasin, Hajna, Woash, Rebel Scum and Hunters Killers in connection with the events at the facility over the past year. Engineering advances in Colonia. Commanders in Colonia, including those belonging to the Nameless faction, have achieved another milestone in getting engineers local to Colonia capable of achieving the very best results. It takes time for engineers to gain the experience necessary to craft higher-level modifications. Commanders can help by using them. The more they practice their art, the better the engineers become. This week, Marsha Hicks gained the ability to apply Grade 5 modifications to fragment cannon, although this is so recent that it doesn't show up on Inara yet. 3 of the 4 Colonia engineers have at least Grade 4 capabilities for all their specialisms. The exception is Yuri Ishmak, who can still only manage Grade 3 for 6 module types. Commanders are urged to help body snatcher Etienne Dorn to achieve Grade 5 for detailed surface scanner, and to help Petra Olmanova to max out her capabilities with chaff launchers. French racers drive Buckyballer up the wall. A group of racers have come up with a plan to stop Commanders Shay Blackwood, Alec Turner and Sanderling from winning every race. The method is to hold the races entirely in French. The Grand Tournoi 3306 will be held from the 7th to the 13th of September and will feature 5 exciting races in space and in SRVs. English-speaking racers won't have any idea what's going on, and the prizes will consequently go to other competitors. In unrelated news, Commander Turner has been seen driving his SRV up a vertical wall. Using a method perfected by Commander Black Maze of the Elite Racers, Commander Turner demonstrates that if you tip the SRV back more than 90 degrees, the thrusters push you against a vertical surface and give you enough grip to climb slowly up. And the Buckyball Racing Club is in the middle of another race to get some rare beverages for the Bavariga system. The trick with this race is that you have to work out in advance how long you're going to take, and you suffer a 30-minute penalty if you go over your self-declared time. It's called Real Men Race in Lederhosen, and it runs until the end of the week. LCU perfects collision detection system. Commander LCU No-Fool Like One of Canon Interstellar claims to have developed a system for identifying well in advance when moons and planets will collide. He demonstrated his system this week, correctly identifying that moons 1A and 1B in the Sinoof WH-F C0 system would collide at 1 AM galactic time on the 31st of August. These moons, in fact, collide every 8 days and 1 hour, so the next collision will be in the early morning of 8th of September. As the system is less than 1,100 light-years from Sol, it is likely to become a popular tourist attraction. Commander LCU No Fool Like One is currently missing, after his SRV became engulfed in crashing planets. This is not expected to have any significant impact on his research. Celebrating the newsletter. The current iteration of the Pilots Federation has now issued 300 of its bi-weekly or bi-monthly newsletter. Let's take this opportunity to look back at where it all began, the very first newsletter. The people who wrote the newsletter were keen to let commanders know what was coming and what decisions were being made on their behalf. Features included an early look at capital ships, including possible designs for Federal and Imperial capital ships. Another feature was about deciding what shape the Sidewinder cockpit should be and what ship-launched fighters should be like. The newsletter also briefly touched upon how death would be handled, something that ultimately resulted in the development of the Remlock. And there was a commitment to making sure that commanders were kept informed of the history of the galaxy and kept up to date with current events. So it was just like one of the modern newsletters, but without a free Asp Explorer paint job. In related news, one of the Pilots Federation member liaison team, Bruce Garrido, said last week that he was aware that the current lack of information coming from Galnet is causing concern in the rank and file of the organisation, and that he and other member relation managers have been campaigning to have Galnet reinstated. He would, he said, love to give us all the news that Galnet will resume publication. Well, let's hope that Galnet may soon be able to give us that news for itself. And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.